wasn't expecting that one.
I want to music on him.
Good. Amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, boss.
Hey, Nick, I think maybe he went to get Ezra to help with the class. I don't know.
I think he's probably sending Ezra off to school.
Oh,
It's that time.
if it was me, it's because I'd be meditating somewhere.
Yeah, you just missed it. He just performed for us, Geshe.
Who did?
Ezra.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I missed that
Hi,
too.
Kramer.
Uh,
Did you get him off to school? Hey, we need the sound, Ben.
All right, one more song. Good, yeah. Oh, yeah.
those
Good.
first three chords were like a Radiohead song.
Don't forget your wah-wah pedal. Yeah.
Whoa! Nice,
Okay.
Ezra.
Have a beautiful
Nice.
day, Kamikis. Wow. Go, go.
Okay, have a good day at school. Glad I'm not the bus driver.
Okay.
Dr.
Bye.
Kramer, you were going through the 12 weird activities of a real monk or nun. So please.
Yes. However, you wanted to have Nick and I talk for a moment about the Tohoku project.
That'd be really cool if you guys have you have it ready.
Yeah, I can share my screen. Hold
It's
on.
slightly from the cuff, but sure.
Okay, so please let us know what you're
So
talking
the living room. Oh, there we go.
Where'd it go? Oh, there we go.
We envision the project like the inside of a house.
The square footage, while modest.
So to speak.
here's the input of a catalog. This is the Tibetan collection. This is called the Tohoku Catalog of Tibetan Literature. And this is the input of one part of the Tohoku catalog, which is the Tibetan collection. So let me just back up for a second. And just for those of you who don't know, there's one very famous, there are several catalogs of Tibetan literature, which is what we mixed nuts are working on translating. Classically, there's three great collections which are written in that language. The Kangir, the Tengir, and what we call the Sungbum, which is the collection of works written by Tibetan authors. And ALL, which was formerly ACIP, has achieved something incredible already over the 30 years of their existence, which is to have input the entirety of the Kangir, which is the word of the Buddha, and the Tengir, which is the commentaries written by great Indian commentators like Chandrakirti and Dhammakirti and all these other heavyweights who we've been talking about a lot in the Mixed Nuts. And so in our database, what's now the ALL database, we have also had the fortune to input a massive amount of works written by authors from Tibet. And it's a little bit less, it's not quite as perfectly organized as the Kangir and the Tengir, which is kind of a fixed set of books. With this, there's a lot of work out there by a lot of different authors. I think it was today, Geshe Michael mentioned that it's actually the largest body of spiritual literature in the world, which I had never thought about before. But when you said it, I was like, oh my God, it has to be. And it's probably by far. And that's amazing. Anyway, we had to choose something, a way of structuring what we're doing. And this book, this catalog here is a record of, so, okay, this is an amazing story. There was a monk.
Nick, do you have the PDF also?
Yeah,
it's
so
people pretty with all the Japanese on it, and
does.
Mm-hmm.
Where it went on my computer is the mystery. Here we go.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the there's some probably Japanese. Yep, Japanese. This is the actual catalog. This is what it looks like in there. This is the Kangir books, I believe. A method of preventing smallpox.
Oh, good.
We should get that sadhana. Yeah, I wonder if there's.
This is Bhutan. Look at the top. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the Tibetan one. I opened the right one. Cool. Maybe we should see if there's one for COVID. So this is what the catalog looks like. And the way they got it's amazing. A Japanese person went to Tibet. I understand that so a lot of people think that Geshe Michael is the first Western Geshe, but I think this Japanese, he's the first American.
Right.
But there was
the first Eastern Geshe.
Oh yeah, and he's not Western. He's foreign. He was the first foreign Geshe. A Japanese monk went and I guess pretended to be Tibetan. And that's amazing.
He pretended to be Chinese because Chinese were allowed in that monastery. Yeah.
That makes more sense. I would have thought they would have been able to guess by his accent. Although I would never guess that Seiji's not American. He's perfected his accent so well. Anyway.
So he snuck out with a lot of books, a lot of books. And those all made it to a library in Japan where they may well be and have been. And Geshe, you saw the library, right? Each book had its own little locked drawer where it's been locked since 1902, for all we know.
Yeah, it's a total of about, they have 5,000 catalog numbers, as you can see here. So it's thousands of locked drawers. Yeah.
So So they made a catalog of the books that he brought back. And here it looks like there's like, I don't know, 7,000, 8,000 numbers. And we use their catalog numbers as our catalog numbers where they exist. So if there is a Tohoku number for a book, we use that as our ACIP or ALL catalog number. We've been for a long time trying to complete the cataloging of the database that we've collected over the years. And one thing that Geshe Michael mentioned to Adam and me and Ben several times is, we've got to finish the Tohoku. So Adam went and wrote a program and compared the texts in this catalog to what we already have in our database and generated a list of, I don't know, several hundred catalog numbers of works that are in this catalog that are not yet represented in our database. So I think most of you know, but just real quick, when you see us in class, like come across an idea that we're not sure about, and then you see Geshe Michael do a search, he's searching the database of literature that we have collected. And every time you see black bold text in the book, that's the notes that he found from another text in our database and searched it immediately using the Gopher program and found immediately like the concept that he was looking for and just pastes it right in. And then he has a catalog record, pastes in automatically also, so we can easily make the bibliography. Anyway,
I can, Nick, I think you can't stress enough that on top of having a very smart Geshe nearby, this is one of the main things that makes our translations of a higher caliber than anything anyone else could possibly provide, is that we have this unbelievable database that has never existed in history. The technology, there's never been a technology like this in history. It used to be that if you wanted to research a book, you had to find it on the shelf. In the case of Tohoku, you would have to find the locked drawer, find the guy with the key, open it up and start lift page through page at a time. And now for the first time ever, this largest spiritual body of literature is searchable. And you could talk in terms of 3 great achievements in the history of ALL. Okay. And 2 of them are done. Okay. Number 1 is the complete collection of the direct word of the Buddha. Done. Anything we want to know, anything he said, it's there. It's there in the database, comes up virtually instantly. Okay. We did it. ALL did it. Okay. It's all collected. Number 2. Okay. The complete collection of the Sanskrit masters, commenting on the direct word of the Buddha. Okay. Done. Completed. Okay. There is another great collection and it's much larger. This Japanese master, right, disguised as a Chinese person sneaking into the Tibetan monastery, grabbed the very best books, the creme de la creme, as it were, of the cream scraped from the cream of the finest works of Tibetan masters writing in comment. And these books are miraculous. And because this language was tucked away atop an isolated mountain kingdom that nobody knew about for a long time, the world doesn't know that these extraordinary masters were writing philosophical works on the level that no one has ever seen in this world. And in many cases still has not seen in this world. And of course, the work of the mixed nuts is to reveal that work to the world. And these books added to the database, the creme de la creme that got brought to Tohoku University in Japan, and they built this catalog around. We are now circling towards the final stages, maybe in a year or so, of completing this third grade achievement in the history of ALL, of having available to us every time we have a philosophical question. All of these masters will be sitting on our laptops, sitting on our doorstep, waiting to answer questions for us.
Yeah. And so we found, when we ran a comparison to see what we've got, we found that a good, what's not represented in our existing database, we already have at least half of that stuff already input, just sitting in our uncatalogued data, waiting to get put into the database. So one of the things that Ben and I and Adam have been doing is plugging away, text by text, catalog, Tohoku catalog number by catalog number, finding it, splitting it out, giving it an English title if it's, if it needs one, giving it a catalog, giving it all the appropriate information, and then finding where we're going to put it in the database. Like if it's a text on valid perception, if it's a text on middle way philosophy. So we're one by one expanding the database. And our plan is that by the end of the year, we will have included every book that's in this great Tibetan catalog.
We have another extraordinary advantage, which is Adam Andrade, who we lean on heavily for this task, who spit out a list of everything that we were missing so far, who is combing through all of the data that we have input. We were really good at doing input, and we struggled to have a large enough team, a sophisticated enough team. I think Geshe had to educate us for a while before any of us would have sufficient sophistication to be able to comb through books and see exactly what we have and where it fits in the database. And finally, I do believe the bottleneck is broken. And Adam, just over the past, what do you think? How many in the past handful of weeks or handful of months? How many texts do you think you moved into the spreadsheet for us to prepare for the catalog?
So this morning, I just finished up Bhutan Rinpoche, which is like 206 new books. That's since I think April, the last week of April. So
amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Finishing Bhutan, that's a huge deal.
Who was the guy who compiled the commentaries on the Buddha. He was, and we finished the first Big Lama. We finished
almost finished with the second.
Almost finished with the second. We finished Gyaltsab
Gyaltsab
was not completed in the database. We had a lot of works by Gyaltsab, but we didn't have all of his advice in translating our work. So we're suddenly moving at a steady clip, and hope to be finishing this project soon.
So
Geshe,
Ben,
would you
can I
please,
ask a question? So
it's an easy one.
When you say, okay, yay, we got this text, we found it, and now we put it in the database, does that mean the world has access to it at that moment? Or what is the process between?
Well, thank you for asking, Paula. It does. It means precisely that. It is available to our. This is the fantasy is that I mean, I'll say frankly, I love my teacher. I love my teacher. I'm very grateful for my teacher, and I can't even begin to explain to you all the ways that my teacher has cared for me. And so my teacher is special to me. It's not just all the things that my teacher has taught me, but my teacher, okay, personally, my teacher has cared for me personally, spiritually, linguistically, philosophically, and in worldly ways for so much of my life you can't believe. But but also my teacher is special. I don't think that just in a way that anyone could understand. The only person in the history of the world, period, who has had the capacity to spend all day, every day, surfing through the waves of this vast canon. No one has ever done it. No one has ever. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. There's, it's his good fortune. It's our good fortune. Hopefully he's not the last to do so. Yes, Utpala, this database is available to the world. Let him be the first and not the last. Let him be the first and not the only one in history. Let him be the first one to master the act of surfing through this vast catalog. So far, I think he's still the only one, but we're trying to prepare a future in which this is, and it is now. As we make it available, it's available immediately. We are making all of that material available to the world immediately, and now we just need more translators and more smart people to learn the skill of riding these waves. Geshe, would you add anything at all that you see fit in the context of this discussion? Or it doesn't have to be.
Two ideas come to mind. One is that the gold clubs around the world, and we have some of those guys are here today, around the world, there are people raising money for this project. This project so far took about $7 million, $10 million. That money came from all of us. We were just raising the money. We went to work. We raised it at the diamond business, and it's all for free. All of the materials online for free. And so I'd like to thank everyone on this call and all the Gold Club members, especially places like Russia, Ukraine. They've been working very hard for many years, Peter and Maria Myrtle, to raise the money to give away these books. So those guys are amazing. And the Tohoku catalog is by the way, don't be, the numbers are misleading because they skip some numbers, okay? So I think 4,600 to 5,000 something. So that's just the beginning. So when Ben and Nick say they're gonna finish the Tohoku catalog, I hope within the next year, that's like the first few thousand books. And then we have 290,000 after that. We have to find them and we have to input them. So we're gonna need help from all over the world. And without the fundraising that you guys do, the Gold Clubs, we can't run this project. And DCI, SCIM, they have given big donations this last week to the ALL project, and they help keep it going. So everyone who's involved with DCI, if you're involved with SCIM, you're involved with YSI, you're involved with the Gold Clubs, everybody's helping. And I'd like to thank them all. Yep, cool. And also big help from China Soft Power Project. Yeah, they're also helping big time. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. I think we should probably get to Ben's class. His text is going to take another 51 years.
Thank you for that presentation. It was very sweet. Then I thought,
thank you for starting this, Geshe. Thank you for.
Maybe next time you can show us how you catalog, how you work with that data spreadsheet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Quick homework.
Yay.
What do the three forms of the practice of eating in a single sitting have in common, and what is different between them? And then what's the Tibetan name for the practice? What do the three, so there is a practice in the 12 practices of a monastic, a monk or nun, called eating in a single sitting. Utpala, your light just went green. You're going to be the one.
Yeah, so it's there with regard to the seat, to water, and to food. They
What
are
Yeah.
equivalent, that they're related to not more than eating not more than once in a 24-hour period.
Right. Yeah, right. They're all the same in that way. What is it in relation to sitting and water and food?
Oh, that you make a determination, this is it?
Yeah, this is it. I'm done. Okay. So in all cases, you eat once a day and you think that's it. Done eating. You may do it at one of three different times. Either
Before you get up, or as you get up?
yeah, that's it. Done. Okay. Or
As you rinse your mouth with water?
done. Or
And as you swallow your last bite, although you probably want to wait till after you swallow.
yeah, well, you just have to think it.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah, great. Sure. Cool. I like it. What's the name of the practice in Tibetan?
Tenchik.
Cool. Of course. Tenchik. Great. Tenchikpa. Cool. What sorts of food may be appropriate to eat in the latter part of the day, or even more than once within a 24-hour period? And what is the Tibetan term used in this context for a 24-hour period?
Pizza.
Well, Geshe just told us a little while ago we could have chocolate chip cookies later in the day.
For example, I think I listed that as a specific example here, but give the general concept that allows us to eat exclusively chocolate chip cookies all day.
As Anna says in the chat, it's for medical reasons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, basically. I mean, really anything that is appropriate to your personal, I mean, medicine was the specific example, but I guess really any other food or sustenance which would be important for your personal health can and probably should be eaten anytime and as often as is appropriate to your personal needs. What's the Tibetan term used in this context for a 24-hour period?
Shakchik.
Duchik.
Yeah, Nyin Cheek. Whoa.
Shachik.
Right. Cool. Great. Which is means like a day and a night. Essentially. So we're calling it 24-hour period because we're translators. Here we go. Soft pitch, easy schmeezy. What sort of material should monastic robes be made from? Tibetan and English, please.
True.
La.
Woolworths.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Right. Great. Sheep's wool. Sorry. There we go. In Tibetan, just kidding. Someone who didn't see it. Someone who doesn't know, answer. Quick.
Cool. Look, bell. Looky bell.
Okay, great. Cool. Let's surf over here and pick up where we left off. Did we do this one already? We talked about dumpster diving already. Okay, so now we're on to Dumba. Here you go, boss. Staying in the cloister.
May I make a request that when we do our homework like this, that we still read the Tibetan and then read the English, so that way the people who are participating can understand what's going on. It's more difficult to follow when we just jump right into your translation. Just a suggestion.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, Utpala, you check me. Dumba Gomba, Dumba Gombawa ni Tongle Gangchak Chik Yen Che Yi Pardu Cheve La
Cheki.
Cheki Pardu Chepe embar ne chashing dele shendu ne mi chawao.
Yay.
And I'm not going to read the English because it may well be wrong, but Geshe will piece it together for us. Boss, I think you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Let me read it. Saying it's at least a mile away from the nearest town. Ember niche, nice. And yeah, good. The only suggestion I have is the word cha, which is not familiar to me. I had to study it a little bit. It means to set up a residence or to set up a place.
Cool.
So, and I just want to brag about when we built Diamond Mountain, when we bought the land, we purposely made it far away from the nearest city. In fact, you have to drive 45 minutes to find a grocery store. And Gyeongdak Chik is 500 dome, 500 arm spans. Yeah, so it's probably about a mile. And the idea is that you shouldn't have, yogis and yoginis of this kind shouldn't be close to a city, shouldn't be close to a town. And it was very hard to find a place like that. And we did. And Diamond Mountain, I know it's a hard place to stay sometimes, but there's a reason for that. We wanted to find a place that was far away from cell phone towers and cities. Yeah, I like the translation. It's perfect. Okay. Yep.
I guess we've covered it before, and I apologize for being a space brain, but but of course it's not a mile. Like I'm looking at now, I said a mile, and now I'm second guessing. Should I say like a mile or so?
Yeah, that's fine. You could say, I think a mile is fine.
Okay.
It's very similar. It's 5,200 feet or something. So
okay.
6 times 500 is 3,000. That's about, you're okay.
Okay.
Yep. Probably there'll be some big Vinaya fight about it later. Okay.
These I recommend reading together, because if you read the first one without reading the second one, then you're in for a surprise when you get to the second one, I think.
Okay, so please read the Tibetan, and I think Venerable Upala can check you.
Okay. Gepa Xing Tung Pa Ni Xing Tung Ambe Nesu Ne Cha Xing Dele Shendu Ne Mi Chawao. And then maybe also Gupa La Kap Mepani Teng Ma Yokbe Chok Su Ne Cha Xing Dele Shendu Ne Mi Chawao.
Yeah, good. Very good. I think the translations are perfect. Let me see. It is sleeping in the foot of a tree. This means stay in a secluded place, the covered tree, and nowhere else. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, when I read these 12, I feel like that's what a monk was really supposed to be, or a nun was really supposed to be. Lagap, the only tricky thing in the second one is the ma after teng. And you have to phrase it properly. You have to say teng ma yok. And because teng ma does mean a covering. So if you phrased it teng ma yokbe, you would mistranslate it. So you translated it correctly. But if the normal cadence would be Dengma Yokbe, which would mean you have to set up a cover over. Okay. Or you can't build a lean-to, you can't build a hut. You're supposed to sleep out in the open air. I guess you have to see the stars or something. And that's, it's difficult. It's a very difficult practice. Yeah. Okay. Which word is this means? Oh, ni. Ni is the knee. That's a good question. Yeah, the knee is this means. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, I like it. Keep going. It's a good translation so far. So far.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, there are problems. That's okay. We'll get to them, I promise. Upala still, if that's okay.
At your
Um,
service.
Thank you. Chupa tsokpu wala che jing chung sum damboni ninseng kang la yang niao wa mi che ching dukpe tse ye yun kyab dun kang yang tsikpa sok la mi temba tsokpur dukpa dang nipani Gyaptsikpa sokla tenching ye yun dun nam mi temba tsokpur dukpadang. Sumbani ye yun gyap nam tsikpa sokla tenching gone la minjok par tsokpur dukpao.
Go ngay.
Uh-oh. Ngay, thank you. Go ngay. Totally.
Yeah, good. Tsokpo, the only place you see it is in the chicken posture for taking vows. But I would read it here to sit without extending your legs. Okay, I think I would read it that way. It means cross your legs in some way. Okay, I would read it that way. I don't think you're supposed to squat. I don't think that's what it's supposed to say. Yeah, so greater misinversion mispractice. So I would say tsokpua means to sit with your legs crossed in some way.
Okay.
In the greater practice, yeah, you never lie down, right? Yeah, all day and night. Good. And yeah, down. Whether to the right? Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Nipani. With your back, but never to the right, to the left, or else forward. Good. Somebody but you never okay. I think gonge is a cushion, and specifically a pillow. So this spelling sangatangasange means a pillow, and normally gonge means a pillow that you lay your head down on when you sleep. But I would read it here as a cushion. Okay, so you sit with your legs crossed, and I believe it would be you don't use a fancy cushion. You try to be a tough guy. Okay. All right.
Okay. But that it does. You know, I thought go because it can mean head, and then it just doesn't that seem to. I'm confused because that the pattern of the three seems like.
Yeah, left, right, front, back.
Why suddenly a cushion? Then what the heck? But
yeah,
the last one doesn't mean don't lean. You can lean against any of those, but not forward.
Or you could phrase it differently and say, but you cannot put your head on any kind of pillow. Okay, you could phrase it that way. Go nge la mi jo.
Okay.
So I guess could you rest your forehead on something and take a snooze? And there are yogis in Tibet who try to keep this practice. They sleep in a box, and they try to not to lean their head on something. So
I'm so sorry. If could nge or pillow in this case be like the equivalent of a den, just only applied to the head? Like, could it be a general word for any den for the head?
I think you could say that, but in that case, he would have said 10, I think.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
he specifically wants to mention a pillow. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if it probably means you don't rest your head on anything. And that would cover the front waist. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would read it that way. That's cool.
Yeah. Cool. Because who the heck leans forward anyway? It'd be
Well,
sort of strange.
maybe if you wanted to sleep and you were in a box or something like that. But the point is you don't lie down and stretch your feet out, which is, I think it's excessive, and I think you wouldn't practice well. I think you would hurt yourself. So you have to be careful with it. You'd hurt yourself if you go sleep out in the open also. So I think you have to be wise. I've met Westerners who read these and then they tried to do them and they just wasted a few years, you know. So yeah.
Okay.
Comfortable, modest house.
Here, I'm gonna move this to make her life easier.
Albuquerque.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see.
And choose somebody to check you.
Okay. Geshe?
Yay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Chuchikpa, Topa la, Chok Tamche, Dur Tokpa Tang, Chok God, Dur Tokpa Ni, Tamboni, Se Gu Ne Che Nemel Tamche, Dur Troki Ze La Ten Ching, De La Shendu Mitemba Tang, Nipani, Se Gu Ne Che Nemel Nam La Ga Shik, Dur Troki Ze La Tembao.
It's perfect. I love it.
Oh,
The
okay.
translation is perfect. I don't see any problems with it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to say that in the old days, in a graveyard, they didn't, you might want to call it burial, no, charnel ground. Anyway, in the old days, in India, they just threw your body out on the top of the ground.
Right.
So
Graveyard
would
doesn't
kinda
quite do
mean
the
that
work.
you're kind of taking clothes off a dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of stinky. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Burial grounds isn't really much better because it still implies that but it's a little bit more, at least, but charnel ground is a pretty weird term in English.
Yeah, it's supposed to be having burned already or something, but
Yeah, right.
don't know. You could just make a footnote maybe. But yeah, it's not that you dig up a coffin or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little less ghoulish, a little.
The family would get upset, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that does sound upsetting.
But it's a
Okay.
good translation. It's a good translation.
Okay. Gelsey, would you keep on me?
Yes.
Thank you. Jinipa Shijin Shimbani Tsam Lo Ma Tingwa Ten La Ma Mel Cha War Che Ching De Le Shembe Ten La Mel Mi Cha Wao Jinipo Dinam Yiki Damcha Jepe Teng Ne Joko.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's great. I just draw your attention to ting,
Ting.
which is a verb that means to take grass or leaves and how do you call that? Lay them out on the floor, something like that. Ting means, ting is also used for flagstones. When you ting flagstones down on the ground. So anything that you lay down and spread out on the ground, that's called a ting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I have run my term gauntlet, and now I get to hand it over to you, boss.
Hey, good job though. That was a good job, and that was a tough assignment.
Thank you.
Um,
Thanks for your help again, Nick.
And thanks for all the kind words that you did. Okay, here we go. Yeshe Wangchuk. All right, we're on to this one. I think we're still in the biography of.
Dignaga. Well, that's an interesting question. That's up to you. We are in both. We're in a biography of Dharmakirti and we're in a biography of Dignaga, whether we're in Bhutan or Geshe Yeshe Wangchuk.
You want to go to the text? Or I don't, we are in the text, right?
I don't know. Yes, then
Yes,
in
we
this
are.
case we are. Okay, that's true.
Well, let's go to the text. Let's get on the text because we got to do
Deal.
some text. Okay, so please read and hustle. You get the hustle.
Sung Tsom Mang Yang Tsema Dang Helwe Shung Mik Dak Zandrel Tang Tsema Do Rik Go Doirangdrel Du Sum Takpa Choki Korlo Nam Ye Chiki Korlo Nam Jokje Korlo Nam Ye.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
All right. What's a sungto?
What is a Sung Tsom?
It means books he wrote. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Mumble.
Boy, did he write a lot.
Yeah, but to just list the major ones,
Mhm.
or to list the ones that are Jawa with Sema.
Oh, yeah, that relate to the study of accurate perception.
Good. Yeah. We got Mikpa Takpa.
Oh, an analysis of objects of perception.
Nice. And also the Rangda.
The auto commentary to that work.
Yay. Then we got Sema Do,
The Sutra on Accurate Perception, which is not a sutra, but is another name for the Compendium of Accurate Perception.
which is the one he started.
On the cave with the chalk.
Yeah, that's the book he started on the cave. Wow. Rigpe Go.
Is it through the door of logic or the door of
Yep.
reasoning?
The door of reasoning, exactly. Then he wrote a wrong drill to that door.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He wrote an auto commentary to the compendium.
Yeah, good. Then he did a very interesting Dusim Takpa.
An analysis of the three times, an analysis of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, that's a sexy book. I mean, that's an interesting one. Okay. And then he wrote Chokchu Korlo. This is kind of, it's actually a chart of, so Korlo here kind of means a chart in which he analyzes the different kinds of chokchus, okay? Relationship between 1 and 3, right? In a logical statement.
Corlo, like, is he calling like the wheel of that, or just like we're in the sphere of discussing the?
You can translate it as the wheel of the relationship between the reason and the subject under consideration, but it's actually kind of it looks like an astrological chart or something. Okay.
Mind map of reasoning.
Yeah, it's a mind map. That's a good transition. Yeah. Okay, keep going, handsome. And who's checking you? I forgot.
Hasso.
Okay, Hasso, let's go.
Lopen Deni La, Lopen Yignian, Ki Lopen Nang Ne Temarang Le Kepa She Yong Sutra.
You can translate this.
Oh, this master was him. this master's master was Lopun Nyingyen,
Good.
Master Vasubandhu.
Good.
Um,
and of
and
all the lomas of Yin,
of all his students, Master Dignaga was his special. He had a special mastery around accurate perception.
Yeltsin Drak means that he gained a reputation.
Oh,
Everybody considered that he was Kepa Le Yignian on Sema.
oh, greater than, smarter than
Yeah.
even Vasubandhu on the topic of accurate perception.
Good. About logic, they say he became a greater master than his teacher, which is a very rare thing to say in the scriptures. Okay, good. Okay, keep going and choose somebody to torture you.
Let's see. Rob Haggerty.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Cool.
It's good to see you, Haggerty, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good to see everybody too.
Sight for sore eyes.
Indeed. Lopun chok lang gi lop me to lopun Wangchuk de ni lopun choki lang po le tsema kuntu sok sene kelen zin san sok tun yang mutek pa tang zebe kelen shorne tak yang dak gi tseni tsul tuk yimbar jo.
Okay, good. Who was the Lobmed soul of Choklang?
The root student, the main student of Master Dignaga was Lopum Wangchuk De, Ishvarasena.
Yeah, Ishvarasena. And he sent Sema Kuntu from Choklang.
And I'm just guessing to mean learn, receive.
He heard it.
Honorific of Tupa. Honorific of Tupa.
Okay, yeah, heard. Great.
He listened to
the teachings, right? The compendium of accurate perception
from
directly from Master Dignaga, who was its author.
Good. Now, here's an idiom, okay? Kelen Zinsam. Okay, Kelen Zinsam. Zinsam means it means the finities of your position that you take. Okay, what's the line of your position? And his Kelen Zinsam means, you know, the point where he took his position was perfect. Okay, his Kelen Zinsam, his take on the scriptures and his beliefs about how to interpret them was tumble with Choglang.
Even Stephen was as good as was.
Yeah, he was on the same page as far as
to
what he accepted, what he didn't accept. He was right on the same page as his teacher Dignaga. Kyang. But one day he was supper with some muteks.
He was arguing with some non-Buddhists or debating them.
Yeah, and he shore his killing.
I don't know, what did he do with his, what's shore?
Lost?
This is an idiom in a debate. Killing shore means he lost his original position.
Uh-oh.
Okay, his original position cracked. That's called shore, means to slip on the ice or lose a baseball game.
Sawi Damcha.
Yeah, and his Sawi Damcha slipped. Okay, and then he was forced into a position of saying that the Dakyan Dakitseni was not so soon.
but six, that there are
Yeah,
six
yeah.
tests
Yeah.
to a correct reason.
He
Oh,
was
this is
forced
cute.
into a position where he didn't say the definition of a good reason is the three relationships that we talked about last month, but rather he was forced into a position of saying there were six relationships that had to hold. Okay.
Quite charming. Yeah.
This little note in the middle is
Yeah.
there's an irritating thing that I don't know how long it's been going on, but many of the texts that we use, somebody has been putting zeros in front of numbers like 0, 1, 3, 0. And you could write a little routine. Adam could probably do it where, 0 followed by any one of the 9 digits should be ignored, it should be erased. So I'm afraid to write that macro. I just go through and take the zeros out manually, but it's a lot of work. Sometimes they have 200 of them. So maybe you guys could write a macro to and make sure it doesn't screw up anything else. Okay.
We're at
time. Yeah.
All right, good. That's a good place to stop.
Yeah, seems like.
They're going to talk about the 3 extra relationships that Ishvara Sena was forced into positing because of his debate with the non-Buddhists. And then they're going to talk about why it's wrong. And I never got it straight. And if you want to take a shot at it, Ben.
Oh boy.
It's in the next paragraph, and it's very interesting. Okay. When you perceive the Jubje Che, do you have to see that it's part of the Tunchok and Mitunchok, the field of similar cases and the field of dissimilar cases? And it's a very interesting argument. Okay.
Just say that again. Would you just say
Yeah. It has to do with Tunchok and Mitunchok. So when you, for example, when you're analyzing whether sound is changing or not,
right?
In your mind, how many other examples do you have to think about before you can see the truth of something? Before you can draw a generalization, how many specific cases do you have to think about to check the generalization? You see, if you say all functioning things are changing, is it the case that you actually go through a bunch of functioning things in your mind until you go through 3 or 4 or 5 in your mind, and then you say, oh, that's probably true. It fits 3 or 4 cases I can think of. That's called Tunchok. That's called the group of similar cases.
Okay.
So what's the status ontologically of the group of similar cases? How many similar cases do you have to think about to draw a principle? Okay. And that isn't that fraught with danger that you might make a mistake, because there could be cases that you didn't think about.
Right.
So how is it that the human mind draws conclusions by subconsciously checking similar cases? And that's called Tunchok. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very interesting question in logic. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you, boss. Sashi.
Sashi, to you. I'll see you guys. I am doing my yoga. I'm just doing it in the evening, and sometimes I go to the gym instead because Grandpa needs to do that. Okay, so I am doing some kind of yoga. I had a nice class with Anatole. Thank you for teaching. Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Geshe.
Geshe.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay here for class with Juan if you want to do yoga now. He'll teach a really fun class. And I just want to say these have been fast and hard classes so far. Thank you to the translators. You guys interpreting into foreign languages. You guys are amazing. They're real heroes here. And to the tech crew, thank you so much for all that you guys are doing to get the videos up for us right away, and you know, just doing such a clean and beautiful job. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, see you guys.